Hi everyone, we are going to look at this is revision set 2, SA2 revision set 2. This is the answers for the MCQ, so please check through your answers first before going specifically into the questions that you got wrong. Right, you may pause the video to check through your answers, and once you're ready to move on, click play. Right, let's look at question 1. The leafy shoot is placed in a beaker containing water with blue dye for 1 day. So there's water with blue dye. Which part of the shoot will be stained by the blue dye? So remember this. Why would it be stained by the blue dye? Because it's taking in water. So which part of the shoot will be blue? Well, it's not the food carrying tube. It's definitely the water carrying tube in the stem. Not food carrying tube, because the food carrying tube will not be blue. Will the leaves be blue as well? Yes, because the water is being brought up the stem to all parts of the plants. That includes the leaf. Alright, so your answer is 4. Question 2. The following are found in a human. Which of the statements below are true about both organs? So I want something that's true about both the lungs and the heart. Okay, so let's look. A. They pump blood rich in oxygen. So when you see the word pump, this is not true because pump is only the heart. Okay, only the heart pumps blood. So A is wrong. They are required for the respiratory system to work. Yes, this is true. The lungs and the hearts both work for the respiratory system. Okay, and how about C? They help transport food to other parts. So transport food, nope, that's not, because the lungs definitely don't transport food, neither does the heart. Okay, so that's why your answer is 1. Now question 3. So organism A is able to make food from photosynthesis kept in the nucleus. Wanted to find out the function of nucleus in organism A. So I want to find out the function of the nucleus in organism A. So it cut into 2 halves as shown here. Alright, then after a few days, so this one dried up and this one, a new cap was formed. So based on his observation, what can he conclude about the function of the nucleus? So I want the function of the nucleus. Alright, so it does not give the cell its regular shape. It does not trap sunlight. That's not the nucleus job. It's the chlorophyll's job. Allow substance to move in and out. That's the cell membrane's job. So the only one, it's 1. It allows the cells to regrow based on the observation here. Okay. So let's look at the next question. Question 4. You're supposed to study the statements about the growth of green bean seeds, and you're supposed to correctly arrange them in order. So this is quite straightforward. First, the seed must absorb the water. So this is my first step. It must absorb the water. Alright, because if it doesn't absorb the water, it won't have water, it cannot grow. Then the second step is then the roots will appear. And then after that, the shoot will appear. And then after that, it starts to make food. And then finally, the flowers and fruits will start to appear. Okay, so 1 is your answer. Alright, question 5. Which of the following statements about fertilization, about the fertilization process of a flowering plant is correct? So fertilization takes place in the ovary. Now I want the process of a flowering plant. So you must recall, this is not fertilization of animals or whatever. It's on flowering plants. Okay, so yes, A is true. Fertilization takes place in the ovary. Fertilization occurs when male and female reproductive cell fuses. This is definitely true. Fertilization occurs when pollen grains from anther lands. No, this is not fertilization. What process is this? Yes, this is pollination. Okay, this is not fertilization. How about D? All parts of the flower wither or drop off except the ovary after fertilization. Yes, this is true. Okay, because the flower will drop off and left the ovary, and the ovary will grow into a fruit. Okay. Now, question 6. Which of the following characteristics cannot be used to differentiate between birds and mammals? So this is on the topic of birds and mammals. So characteristics cannot be used. Okay, cannot be used to differentiate. So body temperature. Can body temperature be used to differentiate between birds and mammals? No. Alright, because both are warm-blooded. Both birds and mammals are warm-blooded, so we cannot use this to differentiate. Types of body covering. Birds and mammals, are they different? Yes, huh? Alright, because birds have feathers, mammals have hair. Wings without wings, can I use this to differentiate whether something is a bird or a mammal? Are there mammals with wings? Yes, there is actually. Yeah, if you think, hey, no, maybe there isn't. One example would be bats. Bats are mammals, right? And they have wings. Okay, so you cannot use wings to differentiate whether something is a mammal or a bird. How about give birth to young alive or lay eggs? Do all birds lay eggs? Are there mammals that lay eggs? Yes, there is. This one you should know. The platypus. So the platypus lays eggs. Alright. Platypus lays eggs, huh? Alright, so the platypus lays eggs. So this is not true as well. Oops. Okay, so that's why answer is 1. Right, study the flow chart. And I want the questions for E and for F. Alright. So let's look at E first. So E is crocodile, penguins, frogs, and then yes, and then becomes a penguin. Okay, so what's the difference between a crocodile, penguin, and a frog? Well, let's look at the question here. Wings and lay eggs. So these are only 2 questions. Alright, basically wing, lay eggs, and then F is scales. Okay, so wing and lay eggs. Let's see, penguins. Does it have wings? Yes. Does it lay eggs? Yes. Crocodiles, no wings. Frogs, no wings, but both lay eggs. Okay, so E will be definitely whether it has wings. So 1 is okay, 2 is out already, 4 is out already. So I'm left with 1 and 3. So let's look at question F. So F is yes crocodile, no frog. Alright, so what differentiates between a crocodile and a frog? Both lay eggs and both does not have wings. Okay, so F is not a good question already. So my answer is definitely 3, because are they covered with scales? F, crocodiles are covered with scales, but frogs are not covered with scales. So that's how you get 3 as your answer. Right, question 8. Diagram below shows the stages of the life cycle of a butterfly. Alright, so let's see. So take note that the arrow is this way, okay, not the other way around, this way. So adult, after the adult stage, what stage would that be? Yeah, it will be the egg stage. After egg, it becomes larva. After larva, it becomes pupa. Alright, so that's very straightforward, and that's how you get your answer to be 3, egg and pupa. Question 9. Which one of the following comparisons between human circulatory system and plant transport system is not correct? Okay, so recall, human circulatory system works something like this. I've got 3 parts. So my lungs go to my heart, heart goes to all parts of the body, all parts of the body goes back to the heart, and then heart goes back to the lungs. But for plants, the transport system is up for water and down for food. Okay, so it's one direction as compared to humans, something like this. So this is something you need to recall. So let's see. Human circulatory system transport gases, does not transport gases. Human circulatory system doesn't transport gases. Okay, it actually transports blood. So wrong. Substance move in the same direction, move in different direction. No. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Human circulatory system, it transports gases because it transports the oxygen and carbon dioxide around. Okay, so the blood, it carries the gases. So in that sense, sorry about that. So in that sense, this transports gases, but plant transport system only transports water and food, water and mineral salts and food. Okay, so 1 is wrong, because what I'm looking for is what is not correct. So this number 1 is correct. Okay, how about 2? Substances move in the same direction. Plant transport system, substances move in different directions. So based on this that we have figured out, or we've remembered, this is not true. Alright, for human circulatory system, the substance does not move in the same direction. It actually moves in different directions. But the plant is the one that moves in the same direction. So this is opposite already. So that's why 2 is most likely my answer. But let's continue looking at 3. Has a pump? That's true. Does not have a pump? That's true. Has tubes to carry both food and water around the body? That's true. Has food and water carrying tubes to carry substances around the plant? That is true as well. So 2 is my only answer. Right, question 10. Study the flow chart, so let's study it. Reproductive organs, is it found in males? Yes. Does it produce sperms? Yes. And then it becomes I. Does it produce sperms? No, it becomes J. So you should have some inkling of what I and J are already. Is it found in males? No, that means it will be found in females. Does it release eggs? No. Does fertilized eggs develop in it? Yes. And that's K. Does it release eggs? Yes. L. What is it? So you should have a lot of ideas what this is. So this is actually very, very straightforward. So my answer is number 3. Okay. Right, question 11. So this one is about family tree. Let's look at the key. Always remember, look at the key to understand the family tree, because not always circles means male, squares means female. It could always be different. Alright, now so there's a circle. Eesh. Sorry about that. Circle is male with attached earlobes. Square is shaded square is female with attached earlobes. Okay, what you see, this is detached. Mine is detached, so mine is not attached. Alright. White circle is male, white square is female. So based on the above information, which of the following statements are true? So let's look at each statement one by one. Joan's brothers have attached earlobes. Okay, so let's see. Joan is here. Her brothers are here. They are both circle with shaded circle. So shaded circle is male with attached earlobes. So this is true. B. Joan's parents both have attached earlobes. Let's see. This is Joan. These are their parents. Both have attached? No, because only one is shaded. The other one is white. So this is B is wrong. C. Both of Joan's grandfathers. Okay, so all of us have 2 grandfathers. One paternal, one maternal. One from our father, one from our mother. So both of our grandfathers have attached. Okay, so let's see. This is from the father, so this is the paternal grandfather. Males are circle, okay? So I'm just going to indicate this is grandfather, GF, grandfather. So this one, yes, attached earlobe. But if you look at the other one, from the mother, the mother's grandfather, this is also GF, grandfather. This one has no attached earlobes. So this statement is unfortunately not true. D. Joan's father has 1 sister with attached earlobes. Okay, Joan's father, circle is male, father, has 1 sister. So this is the sister, this is the sister. Both does not have attached earlobes. So unfortunately this is wrong as well. So my only answer is A, and that's why 1 is my answer. Okay, that's why 1 is the answer. Right, question 12. Figure A shows the location of 3 types of plants, M, N, and P, observed to be growing on a piece of land after 2 months. So let's see. M is the triangle, N is the circle, and P is the rectangle. So based on the figure 1, how are the seeds likely to be dispersed by? So either by animal, water, wind, or splitting. Okay, so let's see. So like I said, these kind of questions are very common. Okay, so let's tackle this first. Group in a cluster, very close to each other. How are they dispersed? Yes, very close means they're dispersed by splitting. Let's look at this circle. The circle is N. Along the river. Along the river will be dispersed by water. Very good. And here it's in one direction. How do you think it's dispersed? So it's either by wind or by animals. Either one could be. Okay, so we are not too sure yet. So, either by wind or by animal. So let's see which options will give us the best answer. And if you look through the list, the only one that is possible is option 4. So M is splitting. Well, actually, once you see M, because M I know is splitting, right? So this is wrong, wrong, wrong. So I'm actually left with only one answer. Okay, so it's quite a giveaway. Right, question 13. Kain, whatever his name is, placed 10 adult lizards in a small tank covered the opening with airtight container. So it shows the proportion of air in the tank beginning, and then which of the following pie charts show the correct one after 3 hours. So what's the concept here? Concept here is it's a lizard, it's a living thing, so it takes in oxygen, gives out carbon dioxide. Right? So what's going to happen? What do you think will happen to this pie chart here? Nitrogen, will anything happen to it? Nope, no change, because the lizards do not consume or produce nitrogen. Oxygen will decrease, alright, because the lizards will be using up the oxygen, and my carbon dioxide will increase, okay, because the lizards will produce carbon dioxide. So based on that, 1 is obviously wrong because of this part here, so this is wrong. 2, again, nitrogen is changing, nope. So 3, again, nitrogen is changing, so nope. So the only one is actually 4. Alright, and it makes sense because my oxygen decrease, carbon dioxide increase. Okay? Alright, question 14. Show the changes of state in water. It's very common. Heat gain, heat loss. Alright, so let's take a look. In general, when I move from gas, so this is gas to liquid to solid. When I move from gas to liquid to solid, this whole part here will be heat loss. Alright, because remember here condensation, doing condensation, heat because of cooler surface, so heat loss. When I freeze it, I need to put inside a freezer, and that is heat loss as well. Now when the reverse, when I want to melt ice and I want to change water to water vapor through boiling or evaporation, I need heat gain. Okay, so this whole process here is heat gain. Alright, so based on that, you can figure out the answer is 2. Okay. Alright, question 15. Diagram below shows the water cycle. So which of the following is correct? So I've got water vapor, process V, and then something T here, and then after that rain, and then after that something here, and then water vapor again. Okay, so water vapor, what happens here, and then after here becomes rain. So rain comes from cloud, so T is most likely cloud. Okay, so let's write it down first. And so what is the process from water vapor to cloud? It's condensation. Okay, so that's the process here. And so for rain, after rain it goes into well, yep, the seawater or the water in the ground and all these things. Okay, so based on that, my answer is, so sorry about that, answer is 4. Okay, so it's 4. Alright, question 16. So Sakina used a iron and wooden nail to scratch 3 different materials, one at a time. She recorded her observation in the table below. Okay, so type of nail used to scratch material A, B, and C, iron and wood. So I mean, you can imagine there's this material. So I got 3 materials, A, B, and C, if you can't like visualize. So she first used an iron nail. So iron nail, scratch. Then after she changed, she used a wooden nail, scratch. So use 2 different types of nail. Okay, so that's what this is trying to say. And if you use an iron nail, she could scratch A, doesn't scratch B, doesn't scratch C. For wood, okay, so iron, let's say iron is a blue, so A can be scratched, so but B and C no. But if she used a wooden nail, she can scratch A, scratch B, but cannot scratch C. Okay, so looking at this, A can be scratched by both, B can only be scratched by the wooden nail, and C is not scratched by anything. Now you need to recall, this is the concept of hardness. Okay, So this is the concept of hardness. And then let's recall, what does it mean to be hard? To be hard is the ability, it's not a matter whether something is hard or soft, it's ability to scratch others. So if I'm harder than you, I'm able to scratch you. Okay, so something that is harder is something that I can scratch. So if I can use a penknife and scratch the wood, that's why the wood is softer, the penknife is harder. So that's the idea here. Alright, so let's look at the following statements. A is harder than B. Now A can be scratched by both materials, B cannot be scratched. So which is harder? Remember, I'm hard if I can scratch. If you cannot scratch me, means I'm harder than you. Okay, so you need to think about it. So if I scratch, nothing happens to this material, that means this is harder than my other material that I'm scratching. Okay, because hardness is ability to scratch others. Okay, so if I can scratch you, means I'm harder than you. If I cannot scratch you, means you are harder than me. Okay, please understand this. So A is not harder than B because A can be scratched by both materials. Alright. Number 2, B is harder than C. Not true as well. C cannot be scratched by both iron and wood. So actually C is the hardest. Alright, so this is actually what we've concluded. C is the hardest. Then A is the least hard. Alright, and then B is second hardest. Okay, so C is harder than A. C is harder than A. Yes, definitely, that's true. B is harder than iron. Is B harder than iron? Not well. We can't tell because so far what's happening is iron scratch B. But in order to find out whether B is harder than iron, B must be the one scratching the iron. Get it? Because if I'm hard, I'm able to scratch you. But so far it's only the iron scratching B. Okay. I hope you understand. If you don't understand, please ask and I will clarify in class. So answer is 3. C is harder than A. Okay, question 17. Had some cubes in a container melted after 5 minutes. Which of the following properties of ice cube has not changed? So I've melted. What properties have not changed? Okay, so let's think about it. The mass of the ice cubes, or mass of the ice cubes, have they changed? Now I've just melted, so the amount of ice or the amount of water in the ice is the same. Correct? So my mass has not changed. So tentatively, this is my answer. Now let's look. State, has it changed? Yeah, definitely, from ice to solid to liquid. Shape, yep, cubes to something else. Volume, the amount of water is the same, right? Oh no. So which is my answer, 1 or 4? The amount of water is the same, that's why my mass did not change. How about my volume? Does my volume change? Which is the answer, 1 or 4? Now think about this. When I gain heat, now because this whole process heat gain, correct? To melt ice, I need to gain heat. When I gain heat, what happens as well? Something else happens. It starts with E. Expansion. Correct? During heat gain, matter expands. So when my matter expands, it becomes bigger. So what happens to the volume? The volume changes. Though by very, very slight bit, but it still changes. So that's why my answer is 1. Okay? Right, question 18. So I've set up closed circuit S and recorded observation. Then after that, they got T and the record observation as well. So each of them gave reasons to support their observation, and so let's see which of them is most likely accurate in his or her explanation. So let's see. B1 lit up, B2 does not light up. So B1 lit up, so let's just put some sparklies here so that it makes us clearer. So B1 light up, B2 does not light up. Okay. B1 light up, okay. B2 does not light up. Now let's see. Both has Z. Right? This does not light up, but this lights up. So what does that tell me about Z? This tells me Z is a conductor. Because if Z is not a conductor, in both cases, it should not light up. So this is a conductor. Okay? So Z is a conductor. So in both cases, Z is a conductor, electrical conductor. Alright? Now, so why would B2 not light up in both cases? When clearly here, it should light up because there is electricity running through. So the only reason why it does not light up is because it has fused. So either is correct. Z is a conductor of electricity. Yep, that we figured out as well. Z is a non-conductor. Obviously, this is not. Okay, so that's why Ida and Basel is correct only. Right, question 19. Which of the switches should be closed to light up B only? Okay, so I only want to light up bulb B1. So I only want this to light up. La la la. Alright, so which switch should be closed? Okay, so let's trace the electrical path. That's one good way to help. So let's go out this way. So I want this to light up. So W must close. Now I don't want B2 to light up, so my electricity cannot go in. So Y cannot be closed. Okay, now X must be closed so that I can have a path. So if I want a complete path down like that, what do I need is W, X, and where am I? Z. Okay? So that's why 3 is your answer. Right, question 20. Louis bought 2 brands of batteries. He wanted to find out which brand of battery will allow the bulb to remain lit longer. So what is he trying to find out? Find out which brand of batteries will allow the bulb to remain lit longer. So that's the key word here. So which of the following variables should we keep the same? So remember, fair test, all other variables the same except the one that I'm testing. So number of bulbs must be the same. Yes. Number of batteries must be the same. Arrangement of batteries must be the same. So all these 3 variables must be kept the same. So that's why your answer is 4. Question 21. Table below shows the freezing point of 3 substances. Which of the following statements about A, B, and C are true? Okay, so this talk asking about whether is it a solid or a liquid. So in order to answer these kind of questions, we always draw the temperature line. So this is 10. And before freezing point, this would be solid. After freezing point, this will be liquid. Because liquid, when it freezes at freezing point, it turns to solid. Okay? So this is 5. And this is 0. So let's look at each statement one by one. A is a solid at 11 degrees. So where's 11? 11 is somewhere here. 11 is here. Well, 11 is liquid. So this is wrong. A and B are both liquids at 5. Okay, so 5 degrees is... Let me use a different color then. 5 degree is here for A. 5 degrees is exactly here. Okay? So let's look at option 2. A and B are both liquids. Well, A is definitely not liquid already. So this is wrong. Let's look at number 3. B is a liquid and C is a solid at 0 degrees. Okay, so let's look at B at 0, where 0 is somewhere here. So is B a liquid at 0? No. So this is again wrong already. Number 4, A, B, and C are all liquid state at 11 degrees. Okay. So A, 11 is here. 11 is here. 11 is somewhere here. So are they all liquid? Yes, they are. So that's why 4 is my answer. Because they're all liquids at 11 degrees Celsius. Right. Demon placed a container with water at 10 degrees Celsius. That's something you must highlight. 10 degrees Celsius. In a classroom at room temperature. And observed it for 5 minutes. So which of the following statements about the water droplets outside or formed here is true? So this is cold water. 10 degrees Celsius, it is cold. Alright, so let's write this down just to remind us. This is cold water. So why is there water droplets formed? Well, because the surrounding air contains water vapor, and this water vapor will be warmer compared to the cup. So when it touches the cooler surface of the cup, it will lose heat and condense and change to water droplets. Okay, so heat is lost from the water to the surrounding air. No, because it's cold water, heat is gained. So this is wrong. Water droplets came from the water in the container. Obviously, this is wrong. We know that it comes from the surrounding air. Water evaporated and formed water droplets in the container. Bah, again, this is nonsense. And so D is the only one. Water vapor in the air condenses and form water droplets. Okay, so that's why 1 is your answer. Alright, question 23. Jan heated a beaker of water, for 10 minutes, recorded the temperature every 2 minutes, and plotted the graph. Okay, so this graph is on time versus temperature. So my temperature will increase, time is increasing. Okay. According to the above experiment, which of the following statements are correct? Water gain heat from 0 to 8 minutes. Okay, so 0 is here. 8 minutes. Is water gaining heat? Yes, it is. Alright. So this is true. Even at this point here, water is gaining heat. Remember, when water boils, once it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, the temperature will not increase, but the heat is used to convert the liquid to gas. So even at this part here most likely is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, because that's where the water is boiling. Water did not gain heat from 6 to 8 minutes. No, this is... So we have verified that this is wrong, because even through boiling, water is gaining heat. Although the temperature is not increasing, the water still gains heat, and it uses the heat to actually break the bonds between the water molecules to change it from liquid to gas. Evaporation occurs from 0 to 10 minutes. That's true. Evaporation occurs at any temperature. Okay, so remember this. Evaporation, write this down, occurs at any temperature. Okay, this is something you must recall. So this is true. Water vapor is formed in 6 to 8 minutes. Now this is not true, because same concept. Okay, so this fact, evaporation occurs at only any temperature, helps us to answer C and D. Okay, so that's why your answer is 2. Now this person arranged 5 magnets, so I want to, which following correctly shows the poles of 4 of these magnets. Okay, so like I said, like these questions, normally what you need to do is to assume. Okay, so let's assume that W is N. You can take it to be S, it doesn't matter, it will not affect your answer. So if this is N, this will be S. Alright? Opposite, I mean if one is north, the other one is south. Now because it attracts, remember opposite attracts. So this is N, this will be S, this will N, this will be S, opposite attracts, opposite poles attract. This will be N and this will be S. Okay? So let's see whether we can find an answer based on this. W will be N. So 1, 2, okay, 3 and 4 is out. So let's see. X is S. Okay. Y is S. Whoop, very good. Z is S. Oh, hooray! We've got our answer. Okay. Now, if you started off with, let's see, if you started off with S, then this becomes N. This becomes S. This becomes N. This becomes S. This becomes N. This becomes S. N, S, N. So if you started off with the green one, you realize you don't have any answers, because, okay, let's see. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay. Now if W is S, X should be N. Okay, that's okay for now. Y should be N, but Y is S. So 4 is wrong. Definitely wrong. 3, let's see. W is S. X is N, okay. Y is N, okay, so far. Z is S, but Z based on this should be N. So 3 is wrong as well. So you need to assume that W is N instead, and then figure this out again. Okay? So either, like I said, that's why either assumption works. Alright, it's just that if you figured or if you guess N, you will get the answer straight away. If you guess S, you may need to guess N and then you get the answer. Okay? Okay, so this is about stroking. Using a magnet to stroke 3 different rods made of steel, iron and aluminium. Rods will then place each other. A and B, both rods repelled. So this is a keyword here. Both rods repelled. So what does that mean? It means both are magnets. Okay, both became magnets. Now, A and C, both rods did not move. Now, we figured out that A and B are both magnets, so A is a magnet. If C did not move, it means that C is non-magnetic, because then it cannot even attract. Correct? Okay. So then it says rod B was able to attract 5 paper clips. So based on information below, what is the most likely materials being used? So recall I smell nice coffee. So which are the ones? A and B are magnets, so it definitely has to be steel and iron, and then aluminium cannot be magnetized, so that's why 2 is my answer. Very straightforward. Okay, 26. Now I've got 4 steel bars, brought close, observation noted, table below. So let's see. B and C repel. Again, repel means both are magnets. Okay, so I figured, so B and C, B is, these are the ends, B and C both repel. So therefore P and Q are magnets. Okay, so remember, repelling proves magnetic, whether something is a magnet or not. Okay. Alright. B and E attracts, so we can't release B and E. Well, so E most likely must be magnetic material. Alright, it could be a magnet, we don't know. Let's see the rest. C and F, so C and F attracts. Okay. So again, this could be a magnet, don't know. D and G, let's look. D, G repels, so definitely S is also a magnet. Okay, so repelling proves a lot of things. So based on the above, which of the following is not a magnet? So actually we're left with R. So let's see, can R be a magnet? To prove that, let's give poles to this. North-south. If B and C repel, that means they are like poles. So this is south-north. Okay. B and E attracts. So if, let's say, R is a magnet, this must be a north pole because it attracts, right? B and E attracts. B, E attracts. Now C and F attracts. If C is south, F and C and F attracts, F must be south and north, right? Hey, how can this be? How can a magnet have 2 same poles? So definitely this is not magnet. So that's how one way to prove that something is not a magnet. Okay? Alright, question 27. Tested the magnetic force of different parts of the bar magnet, putting some iron nails near the positions, recorded the results but forgot to record the position. Okay, so what concept is this testing on? Yeah, this concept is that the ends of a magnet are the strongest. Okay? So the ends of the magnet are the strongest. So remember that concept here. So based on that, it's very easy to see. A is the right at the end compared to D. D is slightly inside a bit. So A is obviously the strongest. So Z will be A. Next strongest will be D itself. B versus C. C is right in the middle of the magnet. So C will be the weakest. And B is the next weakest. So based on that, you can get your answer to be 4. Okay. Now this person tried to pull a stopper from an empty bottle but could not. So then his friend suggested heating the bottle over a flame, then the stopper popped up of the bottle after a short time. So which of the statements below are correct? Now, so first you need to ask yourself, why does this happen? So obviously this happens because there is air inside. And air expands when heated. Correct? And so that's why when it expands, it push, then poof, the whole thing will pop up. Okay? So let's see. Stopper expanded when heated? No, the stopper did not expand. The air inside the bottle expanded? Yes, that's right. The air outside the bottle expanded? No. Okay, so that's why your answer is 1. B only. Alright, railway tracks are built with gaps in between them, and this is true. The railway tracks are built with gaps in between them, so allow the tracks to expand on a hot day so that it will not buckle and bend and push against each other, and that's bad. When the train goes by, pooh, it will fly. Okay, so that's why they need the gap so that it can expand on a hot day and then contract when it's cold. Expand and it will not push. Okay, so that's why the gaps are there. Right, 4 different metals were heated and their length measured. Okay. So this how to read this graph. As my temperature increase, alright, this is 4 different metals, I, J, K, and L. This is how the length increases. Okay, and the length when it's being measured. Alright. So which is the most suitable for making? Obviously, I don't want my railway tracks to expand so much. That's not the whole point. I don't want it to expand. The reason why I have gaps there is not that I want the gaps to be there, is I have to have it there because I know that metals expand. So if I can try to minimize the expansion, that would be great, because I don't know, I mean, if my gap is not far apart enough, they may still meet and they may still buckle up. Right? So I want to make sure the metals don't expand so much. Okay? Because the whole point is I don't want it to expand. Right? But it expands, so I can't help it. So I want to minimize the expansion. So which is the one that has the least expansion? Yeah, that definitely will be J. Okay? So basically why you choose J is because J expands the least. Alright, so that's why this is the most suitable. Alright, last question, question 30. So he wants a new set of curtain to make his room darker. So take note, he wants to make his room darker. So that means he does not want so much light coming in. So he chooses 4 materials, measures the amount of light that can pass through them using light sensor, plotted the graph with the data. So based on the graph, which material is most suitable for making the curtain? So remember, I want to make the room darker. So that means I don't want so much light to come in. Okay, so which material should I use? It won't be this, because the amount of light that comes through is the most. Okay, so obviously it will be P, because this allows the least amount of light to pass through. Okay, so remember, he does not want, I'm going to write this now so at least you can copy it down. He does not want light to pass through. Okay, or it does not want so much lah. He does want some, but he doesn't want a lot. So he wants to make his room darker. He doesn't want pitch black, but he wants darker. Okay? Right, see you at booklet B.